Good morning, everyone. Rob Lukey with our Capital Group. Wanted to take a second to go over the S&P Case-Shiller Index that was out today for home prices. Remember, this is the most widely used index. We did see the sixth consecutive month increase out of the 1820 city day composite. 18 cities were positive. We did have two laggards, Chicago and New York, that were actually down year over year. But otherwise, the overall, the other 18 cities were obviously showing positive gains. We do anticipate seeing a little bit of resistance in this range as we move up into the 4 to 6% range over the year ago. One of the things that I did want to mention as we go down here and take a look at the overall cities, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Phoenix leading the way with 20%. Overall, very strong. New York down 2.3%. And then you had Chicago, which was also off 1.5%. The foreclosure filings for October actually did tick up. They ticked up 3% from September. They were still down 19% from October of 2011, but overall showed an increase over September. And that's one out of every 706 homes in the U.S. actually are involved with some kind of foreclosure filing during the month of October. To go on to our Capital Group real quick, talk about what we're doing there. And like I said, we do anticipate seeing a little bit of resistance up into this range, but we expect to see the same choppy movement that we're getting up. As we're moving up, we expect to see the same choppy movement. As I log into our Capital Group, again, you can always follow our returns by going to our past performance and take a look at our past performance, and you can view it there. You can also sign up for a trial without having to do any type of paperwork. You can go ahead and sign up for a free trial to get used to our software. And what that does is that allows you to go ahead and when you log in, it allows you to take a look at past performance on properties. What I wanted to point out, for example, one of the things that you can do when you're involved with our Capital Group, when you take a look, for example, at the last property that we just sold, which was 209 North Main Street. Pardon me, where is that? So when you look at 209 North Main Street, assuming that you owned a piece of 209 North Main Street, you could view, and what you could do is you could obviously view all the research we have on it, but you can look at the estimated rehab, the estimated selling expenses, and then when we actually sold it, what the rehab and what the expenses were and what we actually thought the value was. And what you can see is that we ended up buying the property at $250,000. We sold the property for $295,000. So we were $5,000 off that target. We had estimated rehab of $1,000, $1,200, and $1,500. Came in at a little bit higher. Our profit ended up being, instead of the $35,000 that was projected prior to making the buy and prior to seeing the unit, remember, our profit ended up being $28,000, and our expenses were here. As a trial member, you can always go to search properties, and you can look at past auctions. For example, you go to Monday, which was an auction in Washington, because it usually is only every Friday, but because of the day, because of the holiday, it actually came in a little bit. We had a Monday auction, but if you take a look at it and go to search and have only hot properties, and you include maybe, and you go to search, what you can do even as a trial user is go ahead and see all the data without having to sift through all that information, be able to see all the data and see what property sold for. So for example, look at this Marysville property. Our Capital had an offer of $185. It ended up purchase price of $185. We had an opening bid. Here's another property. Purchase price $135. But you can get an idea of where we think the value is, where it ends up being sold at. This was a great property. This sold for $434,000. We had estimated profit. This would have been great for an end user that wanted a property in Bellevue. Here's another property that sold for $452,000. Great for an end user. All you end users out there, take a look at this, because this would have been great. Not that great for a flip because the value might not have been there, but good for an end user. Anyhow, hope everybody has a great day. Take care.